Hi friends, today we're going to be talking about the Spanish reflexive verbs. We'll be able to say things like every morning I get up at 7, I brush my teeth at 7:30, I shave at 8, and I get dressed at 8:30. We'll also be able to ask people questions about their daily routine and to answer those types of questions. People who are learning Spanish often struggle with these reflexive verbs, so hopefully by the end of the video you'll have a clear understanding of how they work. So let's do it. So reflexive verbs are verbs in which the subject and the object are the same person. In other words, the person does the action to himself or to herself. And it says the infinitive of these verbs is like a standard Spanish verb, but with se at the end. So we have, for example, the verb mirar, which is to watch or to look at something or someone, and this one is not a reflexive verb. However, mirarse is a reflexive verb, and it has a different meaning. It means to look at yourself. So we have to think of mirar and mirarse as different verbs. Mirar is, we'll call it a standard verb, and mirarse is a reflexive verb. So how do we conjugate this reflexive verb mirarse? So in order to conjugate mirarse, we will borrow the conjugation from mirar, and then we'll add the reflexive pronouns, which are these ones here. So for the first person singular, the reflexive pronoun is me. So I to myself is yo, me. Second person singular, te. So you to yourself, tú, te. Third person singular, for he or she, él, se, or ella, se. First person plural, nosotros, nos, or nosotras, nos. Second person plural, vosotros, os, or vosotras, os. And third person plural, ellos se or ellas se. So the 6 reflexive pronouns, 5 really because one of them is repeated, are me, te, se, nos, os, se. So mirar, to watch or to look, is a standard regular verb ending in AR. So to conjugate a regular verb ending in AR, we just drop the AR part and we apply the endings for regular verbs ending in AR, which are o, as, a, amos, ais, an. So for mirar, yo miro, tú miras, él, ella, usted mira, nosotros, nosotras miramos, vosotros, vosotras miráis, ellos, ellas, ustedes miran. Or without the subject personal pronouns, miro, miras, mira, miramos, miráis, miran. So to conjugate mirarse, which is to look at yourself, and it's a different verb, we'll just use the same conjugation. So miro, miras, mira. Here we have them. Miro, miras, mira. However, before the verb, right before the verb, we'll add the reflexive pronoun. So to conjugate mirar, first we forget about the se. To conjugate mirarse, first we forget about the se. Then we forget about the AR, so we have to remove all this R's part at the end. And then we conjugate mirar as a regular verb, which in this case that's what it is, miro, miras, mira, and we add the reflexive pronoun, which is me, te, se, nos, os, se. So I look at myself, yo me miro. You look at yourself, tú te miras. He or she looks at himself or herself, and also you, formal singular, look at yourself. Él, ella, usted se mira. We look at ourselves. Nosotros, nosotras nos miramos. You all look at yourselves. Vosotros, vosotras os miráis. As a reminder, we only use vosotros in Spain. And the last one, they look at themselves, or you all look at yourselves, formal in Spain or formal or informal everywhere else. Ellos, ellas, ustedes se miran. So all together without the subject personal pronoun, me miro, te miras, se mira, nos miramos, os miráis, se miran. So mirar, miro, miras, mira. Mirarse, which is a reflexive verb, me miro, te miras, se mira. Using also the subject personal pronouns, mirar, which is a standard verb ending in AR. Yo miro, tú miras, él mira, etc. Mirarse, the reflexive verb. Yo me miro, tú te miras, él se mira, etc. So here are some common reflexive verbs. We have acostarse, and it has an asterisk, which means it's going to be irregular. We'll look at it in a second. So acostarse is to go to bed or to lie down. Afeitarse is to shave yourself. We wouldn't use afeitarse for shaving someone at a barber shop if, let's say, you work in a barber shop. We will only use it for shaving myself in the morning. If I say I shave every morning, we'll use this one. So to brush your teeth is cepillarse los dientes. It's important to know that we phrase it in Spanish, I brush myself the teeth. We don't say my teeth, we say the teeth. This is just idiomatic. If we say cepillarse mis dientes, is that wrong? No, but nobody says it that way. We just say los dientes, the teeth. We are already using a reflexive verb. It's implied that we are doing it to ourselves, and we just say los dientes. Depilarse, this is a verb for removing hair from your own body, something very specific. So we use it, for example, for shaving our legs or waxing our legs. We would use this verb. Dormirse, to fall asleep. Ducharse or bañarse, to take a shower. In Spain, we usually use ducharse. I think in Mexico, for example, they use bañarse also for taking a shower. In Spain, bañarse means to take a bath, like with bubbles and everything. So ducharse is to take a shower in Spain. To wash your face, lavarse la cara. Again, we don't say lavarse mi cara, we say la cara, to wash yourself the face. To get up is levantarse. To be named, llamarse. This is the one that we use when we say me llamo Dan, my name is Dan. It's kind of saying I call myself Dan. Although the actual meaning is I am named Dan. We are not meaning that I call myself anything. To put on makeup is maquillarse. To look at yourself in the mirror, this is the one we saw earlier, mirarse en el espejo. To comb your hair, your own hair, peinarse. To put something on, like your hat in here, ponerse el sombrero. And this one is also irregular. Dormirse was also irregular. We'll take a look at acostarse, dormirse, and ponerse in a second. Quitarse el sombrero, to take your hat off. And to get dressed, vestirse, which is also irregular. So this paragraph here is important, reflexive and non-reflexive meaning. It says many verbs in Spanish have a reflexive and a non-reflexive version, like mirar and mirarse. We saw that earlier. And many times they have different meanings. For example, levantar, the non-reflexive cousin of levantarse, means to lift, like as in lifting something off the ground, for example. While levantarse means to get up. So we are phrasing it, I lift myself, but that's not the meaning. It really means I get up. Dormirse means to fall asleep, while dormir means to sleep. Two different meanings. So they are related, but they are not the same. In some cases, the meaning is very close. Peinar means to comb someone's hair, while peinarse means to comb your own hair. Same for afeitar or afeitarse, to shave someone if you work in a barber shop, or to shave your own face, to shave yourself. So we need to treat all reflexive verbs as independent verbs with their own specific meaning. In some of them, the meaning is the same, but the non-reflexive one means to do the same thing to someone else, and the reflexive one means to do that thing to yourself. With some other verbs, the meaning is similar but different. With some other verbs, the meaning is completely different. The non-reflexive one means one thing, and the reflexive one means something completely different. So, I lift a lot of weight. Yo levanto mucho peso. We are using levantar, which is a non-reflexive verb. But I get up at 10. Yo me levanto a las 7. Literally, we are phrasing it, I lift myself up, but that's not what we mean. It really means I get up at 10. I sleep a lot on Sundays. Yo duermo mucho los domingos. We are using dormir, which means to sleep. But I fall asleep at 11. Yo me duermo a las 11. This me makes a huge difference. I fall asleep at 11. And then peinar, the meaning in this case, it's the same. It's just to someone else or to ourselves. So I comb my friend's hair. Yo peino a mi amiga. However, I comb my own hair. Yo me peino cada mañana. I comb my hair every morning. So to make a sentence negative, we just place the word no right before the reflexive pronoun. And this is important. We can't have anything between the reflexive pronoun and the verb. They have to go together. So yo no me ducho por la mañana. I don't shower in the morning. So stem changing reflexive verbs, acostarse and dormirse, had an asterisk saying that they were irregular. They are not really irregular. They are called stem changing verbs, and in these verbs, the O becomes UE in all the persons except nosotros and vosotros. So instead of saying yo me acosto, which would be the regular verb conjugation, we say yo me acuesto. The O becomes UE. For you go to bed, tú te acuestas. For he or she goes to bed, or you, formal singular, go to bed, él, ella, usted se acuesta. However, with nosotros, the O doesn't change. So, nosotros, nosotras, nos acostamos. Vosotros, vosotras, os acostáis. Ellos, ellas, ustedes se acuestan. And in this one, we have the O to UE again. So O becomes UE in all the persons except nosotros and vosotros. Dormirse, to fall asleep, same thing. The O becomes UE in all the persons except nosotros and vosotros. It's just that dormir is a verb ending in IR, so we'll have to use the IR endings for regular verbs. So I fall asleep, yo me duermo. You fall asleep, tú te duermes. Next one, él, ella, usted se duerme. Nosotros, nosotras nos dormimos. Vosotros, vosotras os dormís. And ellos, ellas, ustedes se duermen. Vestirse and ponerse are irregular, so we just have to memorize them. Vestirse, which is to get dressed. Yo me visto. Tú te vistes. Él, ella, usted se viste. Nosotros, nosotras nos vestimos. Vosotros, vosotras os vestís. Ellos, ellas, ustedes se visten. And ponerse, to put something on, we just have an extra G in here, kind of similar to tener, tengo, right? So poner, pongo. And ponerse, the reflexive verb, me pongo. So yo me pongo. Tú te pones. Él, ella, usted se pone. Nosotros, nosotras nos ponemos. Vosotros, vosotras os ponéis. Ellos, ellas, ustedes se ponen. And without the subject personal pronouns, yo, tú, él, etc., me pongo, te pones, se pone, nos ponemos, os ponéis, se ponen. And here we have a little conversation using reflexive verbs. So Pérez says, hola Silvia, ¿a qué hora te levantas cada día? Silvia says, hola Pérez, me levanto a las 7 de la mañana cada día. Pérez says, ¿te lavas la cara cada mañana? Do you wash your face every morning? And again, he's not saying te lavas tu cara, he's saying te lavas la cara. And Silvia says, sí, me lavo la cara cada mañana y cada noche. Yes, I wash my face every morning and every night. Then Pérez asks, ¿a qué hora tomas el metro? What time do you take the subway? This one is not reflexive. She says, tomo el metro a las 9 de la mañana, tomo el tren G. I take the train at 9 in the morning, I take the G train. And then Pérez asks, ¿te maquillas cada día? Do you put on makeup every day? Silvia says, no, me maquillo los sábados cuando voy al club. No, I put on makeup on Saturdays when I go to the club. And then Pérez asks, ¿a qué hora te acuestas cada día? What time do you go to bed every day? Sylvia says, me acuesto a las 12 de la noche. I go to bed at 12, at midnight. What about you? And Perez says, yo me acuesto a las 11:30. I go to bed at 11:30. Let's try to conjugate some of the other regular reflexive verbs. For example, ducharse. I take a shower, you take a shower, etc. So to conjugate ducharse, first we remove the se. We are left with duchar, which is a regular verb. So to conjugate duchar, we would go ducho, duchas, ducha. However, to conjugate ducharse, the reflexive verb, we'll say me ducho, te duchas, se ducha, nos duchamos, os ducháis, se duchan. Let's try afeitarse, to shave yourself. So we drop the se, we conjugate afeitar, that's a regular verb, so afeito, afeitas, afeita. But to conjugate afeitarse, we need to add the reflexive pronouns. So me afeito, te afeitas, se afeita, nos afeitamos, os afeitáis, se afeitan. With the subject personal pronouns, yo me afeito, tú te afeitas, él se afeita, etc. And let's try one more. Let's try, for example, maquillarse, to put on makeup. So, me maquillo, te maquillas, se maquilla, nos maquillamos, os maquilláis, se maquillan. And let's read this little text that we have here, Laura y yo. So it says, Laura y yo nos levantamos a las 7 de la mañana cada día. We get up at 7 in the morning every day. Nos lavamos la cara, nos cepillamos los dientes y desayunamos. We wash our face, we brush our teeth, and we eat breakfast. A las 8 de la mañana nos duchamos y Laura se depila en la ducha. At 8 in the morning we shower and Laura shaves her legs or waxes her legs in the shower. Entonces yo me afeito y Laura se maquilla y se peina. Then I shave and Laura puts on makeup and combs her hair. Yo nunca me peino. I never comb my hair. A las 9 nos vestimos. At 9 we get dressed. Yo me pongo mi sombrero. I put on my hat. Laura siempre se mira en el espejo. Laura always looks at herself in the mirror. Vamos al trabajo de 10 de la mañana a 6 de la tarde. We go to work from 10 in the morning to 6 in the afternoon. A las 6:15 vamos a casa. At 6:15 we go home. Entonces vamos al gimnasio, miramos la televisión y cenamos. Then we go to the gym, we watch TV and we eat dinner. And then normalmente nos acostamos a las 10 de la noche. We usually go to bed at 10 at night. So let's complete a couple exercises together. It says fill in the blanks. Juan, and we have to use levantarse. So Juan se levanta a las 7 de la mañana. ¿Tú te pones siempre el sombrero? Do you always put on your hat? And the previous one was Juan gets up at 7 in the morning. 3. Yo siempre me cepillo los dientes después de comer. I always brush my teeth after lunch or after eating. Nosotros nunca nos miramos en el espejo. We never look at ourselves in the mirror. Ustedes a veces se maquillan por la mañana. You all sometimes put on makeup in the morning. Ellos se acuestan a las 9 de la noche. They go to bed at 9 at night. Él se mira mucho en el espejo. He looks at himself a lot in the mirror. Yo nunca me peino por la mañana. I never comb my hair in the morning. A veces yo me ducho por la noche. Sometimes I shower at night. Mi primo se llama Manolo. My cousin, his name is Manolo. That's really what it means. Nosotros nos vestimos a las 8 de la mañana. We get dressed at 8 in the morning. Juan se pone el sombrero. Juan puts on his hat. El club se llama Penélope. So the club is named Penelope, or the name of the club is Penelope. Vicente se afeita cada mañana. Vicente shaves every morning. Elena se depila cada domingo. Elena shaves, presumably her legs, or waxes her legs every Sunday. Ellos se miran en el espejo del gimnasio. They look at themselves in the mirror in the gym. Tú te llamas Carlos Pérez. Your name is Carlos Pérez, or you are called Carlos Pérez. Verónica y Alicia se maquillan en el baño de la oficina. Verónica and Alicia put on makeup in the bathroom in the office. One more, we have to translate these sentences. I get up at 6 a.m. Yo me levanto a las 6 de la mañana. Or me levanto a las 6 de la mañana. I brush my teeth at 7 a.m. Me cepillo los dientes. Again, I'm saying los dientes and not mis dientes. So, me cepillo los dientes a las 7 de la mañana. I go to work at 8 a.m. This one is not reflexive. Voy al trabajo a las 8 de la mañana. He goes to bed at 10 p.m. Él se acuesta a las 10 de la noche. You, formal singular, never comb your hair. Usted nunca se peina. My sister always goes to bed at 9 p.m. Mi hermana siempre se acuesta a las 9 de la noche. We always eat at 7 p.m. This one is not reflexive. Siempre comemos a las 7 de la tarde. Or siempre cenamos a las 7 de la tarde. Either one. You, formal plural, take a shower. Ustedes se duchan. They brush their teeth every morning. Ellas se cepillan sus dientes. No, los dientes. Ellas se cepillan los dientes cada mañana. She gets dressed at 8 every morning. Ella se viste a las 8 cada mañana. She goes to bed at 11:37. Ella se acuesta a las 11:37. I put my hat on. Me pongo el sombrero, or mi sombrero. In this case, mi sombrero is fine. It's not a part of the body. And we have to answer these questions. ¿A qué hora te levantas? What time do you get up? And I would reply, normalmente me levanto a las 8 de la mañana. ¿A qué hora te acuestas? What time do you go to bed? Normalmente me acuesto a las 11:30 de la noche. ¿Te peinas por la mañana? No, normalmente no me peino por la mañana. ¿A qué hora te duchas normalmente? What time do you usually shower? Normalmente me ducho a las 8:30 de la mañana. ¿Te miras mucho en el espejo? Sí, me miro mucho en el espejo. ¿Te lavas la cara cada día? Do you wash your face every day? Sí, me lavo la cara cada día. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in the next video.